Trudeau has survived scandals that would have put conservative in jail. He takes an all expenses paid to the Aga Khan's private island and doesn't disclose it. Second ethics violation was when he appoints the first Indigenous Minister of Justice and Attorney General, Jody Wilson-Raybould. Appoints her, fires her, when she doesn't adhere to his corrupt demands to not criminally prosecute this international construction conglomerate called SNC-Lavalin, because he's chummy with them. Third ethics complaint was his mother was getting paid by a charity that his government then attributed a sole source government contract to. Child's play stuff. Other scandals, and in the blackface scandal where the media was sitting on pictures of Justin Trudeau having worn blackface more times than he can count. Back in 2000, he allegedly groped a reporter and apologized to the reporter behind the grope. He owns the media that's kept this. Trudeau has survived scandals that would have put a conservative in jail. He takes
in jail. And I'm not being hyperbolic. Jail. Oh, for those of you who don't know, pull up the link to the video, because I did a PragerU interview. I did the PragerU interview. It was in May, I think, May of this year, and they just released it yesterday. When other news dropped, just coincidental timing, the Cosmos could not have timed it better because it was not coordinated. Let me see. PragerU, Marissa Straight, Viva Fried. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch. It's a good one. Did I miss any? The intro, someone was, can you name all of Justin Trudeau's Aga Khan ethics violation? Confirmed. SNC-Lavalin ethics violation, confirmed. The We Charity scandal, they sort of cut the details there. That is the one, mother and his wife and his brother payroll or gift recipients for speaking fees for the We Charity, and then miraculously, as coincidences would happen, the We Charity was granted a sole-sourced, no-bid contract to manage, I think it was $1 billion in student loans, for which the We Charity was going to get paid like $20 million. You had Gropergate back in 2000. You had Blackface Gate more times than he can count. You have the China donation, CCP money being donated to the Trudeau Foundation. You have alleged CCP involvement in elections. You have the Emergencies Act scandal, where it became known in that 6-week commission that Trudeau was just dying for an opportunity to invoke the Emergencies Act. Turned down a negotiated settlement that would have seen a peaceful resolution to the insurrection, occupation of all. Have I missed any? Chat, have I missed any? It is corruption all the way down. And we're going to talk about it today. Because the news, the breaking news, first of all, I'm back in my studio. How good is it to have this beautiful? Oh, yeah, I missed you, Mike. Out of focus, Viva. It's not out of focus. It might be a slow internet connection. We're having massive storms here. I know that I'm not out of focus because I can see. I don't think it's out of focus. I think it's bad internet. I'm noticing one bar on my StreamYard. And if everybody's saying it's blurry. Hold on. Gosh darn it. There was a massive storm that came through. Mike is not, his video has issues. This is very frustrating. So let me refresh, and if I get booted from the stream, I started anyhow. That's what I wanted to say to start. It's fine. It's blurry. I'm refreshing. I'll be back in 5 seconds. Reload. Yeah. Now. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good. Now the internet. 2 bars. I don't know what the deal is. It looks like it's with StreamYard. My internet connection has the 3 bars of the radar, but on StreamYard, it looks like it's better. Okay. It's better. All right. So now we're going to talk about it. Yesterday, the news of the day, Justin Trudeau announces he's separating from his wife. You have to read the various headlines. Some say the Gazette, Montreal Gazette, I think it was Montreal Gazette, reported Sophie Trudeau separating from her husband. Others say Justin Trudeau separating from his partner. The way the media frame this, depending on their ideological alignment, is wild. But we're going to get to that because it looks like there's even more action to that story than was initially thought. I had my theory, which I'm going to have to read because the thing that we talked about yesterday, it got community noted on the original post. They specified what might have been said in the background. We're going to go over that because we talked about it yesterday, and we aim to get things always right here. I said, it sounded like he might have said something about, crass about male circulatory fluid when I listened to it. But nonetheless, the reaction from Jugmeat was bizarre. Seems that there might be another layer of corruption, even to the separation of Justin Trudeau and his wife, Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, in that we're going to have to talk about it. She might be exempt from conflict of interest provisions of law by virtue of her now being separated from Justin Trudeau. As timing might have it, it might or might not be about a year after he created a new company. We'll get there in a second. Hunter Biden, Devon Archer, corruption all the way down. Donald Trump, plead guilty, corruption all the way down. I'm loving Jonathan Turley these days. I love the fact that he's now he's a regular on Fox News, although I don't like Fox News. My stream is messed up. A lot of people mess up. This is very frustrating. Let me see what I can do about this. Well, let me just see what it looks like. How bad could it possibly be? Getting an ad. Okay, it's going to play after the ad. Let me see this. Yeah, that's. How bad could it possibly be? It's pretty bad. It looks like it's being shot with a potato. Okay. It's going to play. Let me see this. Why would it be so bad? Okay, let me just see if I can't. The audio is good. That much I got, but let me see if I can't do something here. This really sucks. I don't know if it's the storm. I don't think it's the internet at my place because it looks like it's fine. And yeah, so we're going to talk about that convenient thing that might dispense. No, I'm going to remove. Close this down. Join. Is this going to be any better? I've opened a new window, so now I see going to 2 bars, and in a second it's going to go to 1 bar. And we're back to 1 bar. Okay, great. Okay, can you hear me? You don't need to see me. All right. Flipping pixelation. Okay, by the way, speaking of corruption all the way down, tomorrow we have a special guest, and it involves Hunter Biden corruption. Garrett Ziegler, Marco Polo is coming on tomorrow for an interview, 2:00, and it's going to be glorious. But now what I've got to do, I got to bring this window back up here. How do I bring the window back into the bar? The thing bar here. This is very frustrating. Here. I need to figure out how to get the window back up. Oh my goodness. Hold on, people. Are we live? At least are we live on Rumble? I forgot to double check if we're live on Rumble. I'm going to enter the studio one more time. Bringing me in. Going to close this one down. Once I find it, StreamYard. Close it. Pop myself back in. Okay, we're done. You know what's good? No, you laugh, and I'm going to sit here getting frustrated about these words. Russ messed up as well, but at least we're live. No, I think a massive storm. I'm going to blame it on the storm. I'm going to blame it on the rain. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do Trudeau, Biden, and play some videos. Devon Archer. Remember the timeline here, people. Joe Biden discussed his son's business dealings with his son. Joe Biden was never in business with his son once it became clear that he discussed business dealings with his son. It's quite been in the business with his son, but the business never really materialized any fruits. It was just influence peddling. Let's do it. What do we bring up first? So what we're going to do is we're going to go live. We're going to end on YouTube, go over to Rumble in a few minutes exclusively. Then we're going to go over to Locals and have our after stream party. Milli Vanilli in the house. We got someone who's as old as I am. Rumble is the same sucky video. No. We're going to have to live with it. The only alternative is for me to reboot my computer, get all of my links back up. You know what I'll do? I'll keep myself in small on the side. We're going to start with Justin Trudeau and the latest convenience story of the day. Sophie Trudeau, listen to this. So they've announced their separation. They've apparently entered into a separation agreement. I forget exactly how it was in Canada. I think you needed separated for 12 months before you can get a divorce. There's a convenient side of this agreement that they might have had. Now, some people have been reading this story wrong and thinking it was the separation agreements that Justin Trudeau and she entered into that absolved her of ethics laws. That's not my reading. My understanding is that now that she's no longer someone who's married to or cohabitating with a member of parliament, she is exempt from conflicts laws or they don't apply to her. But we'll read this article from the Western Standard, who's going to come up twice in today's stream. Look how beautiful Sophie Trudeau is. Oh Lord, we were married long enough and now we're going to get divorced. And I presume I'll get half of whatever he's got, which I presume is much, much more now than it was back in the day. This is the news. Due to a separation agreement with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Sophie Gregoire is exempt from Conflict of Interest Act disclosures. Last year, Sophie registered a new federal corporation to offer, what did they call it, with influence peddling? Oh, I'm sorry. No, we're not talking about Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. We're talking about, she incorporated a new company, this woman now. It's just very, very interesting timing. Last year, registered a new federal corporation to offer communications services. That mean whatever it has to mean. Quote, Sophie and the Prime Minister have signed a legal separation agreement. That means it's a separation by consent. I still think they have to spend a time apart, not cohabitating before they can actually get divorced. The rationale, as far as I recall, to that law was that you don't want splitting up, getting to realize, well, we're not really done with each other. We want to get back together. Now you have to go do the paperwork again. So they want to make sure that people are sure that the marriage is over before they form the papers and make it. The Prime Minister's office said Wednesday in a statement, they have worked to ensure all legal and ethical steps with regards to their decision to separate have been taken. That's the, I believe it's the Conflict of Interest Act. I think that's the one that Justin Trudeau was in violation of. I think it was that act. Under the act, disclosure is mandatory for, quote, a person who is cohabitating with a public office in a conjugal relationship. However, no disclosure is required, quote, for quote, a person for whom a public office holder is separated if all support obligations and family property have been dealt with, end quote, by a divorce decree or separation agreement. A separation agreement or an order is required, said Melanie Rushworth, spokesperson for the Office of the Ethics Commissioner. According to BlackRock's reporter, I should probably pay for a subscription to Black. They are worth it and they do deserve it. According to BlackRock's reporter, the PMO did not provide the date when the separation agreement between Justin and Sophie was signed. However, on April 6, 2022, Sophie Trudeau registered a federal corporation. Sophie Trudeau registered a federal corporation at Ost Legal, a Toronto law office. I'm fairly certain I went to law school with Thomas Porte Ost. Good guy. A Toronto law office under your Light Communications Incorporated. Under your Light Communications Incorporated, quote, oh, that's the name of the company. Under your Light Communications Incorporated, quote, services, end quote. And Sophie is the sole director. Previously, Sophie had been a paid speaker spotlight of Toronto, which is the talent of the Trudeau family. In 2020, the talent agency informed the Commons Committee that it had destroyed accounts documenting talent fees paid to Sophie before 2013. It should be noted that Sophie and Justin Trudeau got married in 2005. Wow. Oh, here we got into the weird with the We Charity scandal. It didn't result in an ethics violation because whatever Sophie received from the We Charity, apparently neither she nor his Trudeau's mother nor his brother were family members, apparently under the law, close enough family members, which are required for a violation of conflict of interest. Before We Charity received a federal grant of $43.5 million in 2020, according to records, it was discovered that We Charity provided Sophie with talent fees, gifts, and expense-paid trips in London and New York, amounting to $25,681. The grant was withdrawn after it discovered that the We Charity paid $471,000 in fees to the Trudeau family, which included the Prime Minister and brother. July 30, 2020. How this was not an ethics violation, Mario, what's his name? Was it Mario Dumont? I forget the ethics commissioner's name. How this did not amount to Justin Trudeau's third ethics violation is a sign that the core and corruption all the way down. In July 30, 2020, testimony at the Commons Finance Committee, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said, quote, "He knew that my brother and mother had worked with We Charity, but was unaware of the..." Sounds very familiar, eh? I never discussed my mother and brother and wife getting paid by the We Charity that got a sole source government no bid contract from my government. We never talked about it. It's amazing through and through all over. They play the same move over and over again, mutatis mutandis. I did not know how much work either of them had done with We Charity or how much they'd been paid. Bullshit, Justin Trudeau. During earlier testimony at the Finance Committee, Craig Kilbro, co-founders of We Charity, denied that they owed any favors in exchange for hosting Sophie. They didn't want any favors. They just knew that they would get them. This is a non-alcoholic beverage. We didn't ask for any favors. We didn't want any favors. We didn't expect any favors. We just know how things work. Give a little $25,000 to his wife, a little $500,000 to his mother and brother. Good things happen. Oh, Trudeau is more than someone's wife, said Kilberger. Oh, she is more than someone's wife. She's a person. She's also Trudeau's wife. And you gift her gifts, and then you get gifts from Justin Trudeau's government. That's called corruption. We engage with individuals on the merit that they bring themselves as individuals. Oh, really? Then why do you have conflict of interest acts, laws? For disclosure purposes, MPs are required by the Ethics Commissioner to update information about their marriages in their files regularly. Then Attorney General David Lametti, the one who replaced Wilson-Raybould when Justin Trudeau, in second ethics violation, fired Jody Wilson-Raybould because she wouldn't do his bidding for SNC-Lavalin, the international construction. Lametti replaced her. It went from, it's 2020, we have to have half a cabinet as women. I hired my first Indigenous woman, mature of justice attorney. It went from her to David Lametti because he'll do Justin Trudeau's bidding. Then Attorney General David Lametti wrote a 10 note in his file. I'm sure this is going to be great. That despite, quote, reasonable efforts to determine my spouse's private interests, I was unable to obtain any such information. Oh, nothing better than his lawyer writing self-serving crap. Geneviève Sommier, Lametti's wife, is a law professor at McGill University. In 2020, Lametti took her name off a list called the Public Registry of Designated Travelers for MP spouses. Corruption all the way down, people. I'm going to go give everybody the link to that article. Link to article. Oh, the timing works out great. Is the audio bad now too? Who just said now the audio? Come on, don't mess with me here. Hold on a second. Let me see here. I'm going to refresh this and see if it's any better. Play. Okay, and the audio is fine. Sorry. So that's the latest out of Canada. It's all a wonderful party. It's a wonderful club, and we ain't in it. Very funny, however. I did the law firm. The lawyer's a good guy, as far as I remember. He was president of the Law Student Association before I was. Dude's like 6'6", and I'm like 5'5.5". And when he handed down the presidency of the Association des étudiants en droit, when he handed down the whatever it was they bestowed to the next president of the Law Student Association, he literally had to bend over a foot to give it to me. All right, but that's one part of the story. Oh, good things happen when you're in the club. And I'm sure they're going to be worth millions and millions of dollars. They're going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars in speaking fees. And Kielburger from We Charity, how dare you suggest that we would give Justin Trudeau's wife payment, travel expenses, gifts to procure favors from the federal government? How dare you suggest it? I mean, sure, they did give us favors afterwards, but we measure each person on their own merits. And if you don't think so, you must be a misogynist who doesn't think Sophie Grégoire Trudeau earned the gifts that we gave her. And if you don't think we earned the gifts that the federal government gave us, well, then you're just bad with us as you are with them. Okay. Now, bring this back up yesterday. Remember when I played this video yesterday and I was reading the tweet? This is from Rowan the Stallion, who said, driver, call out the prime minister inaudible, Sting, you're homophobic, driver, you're a POS. Listen here. It's about here. The guy who posted this tweet said, so call out the prime minister inaudible. And I said, it sort of sounds like he says something like, suck up all of the prime ministers. And I thought it might have been fluids. He got the community notes come out and says, on versions with better audio, the heckler appears to have said, suck all of the prime minister's rooster and not call out prime minister. And then you get a link to the YouTube video, which we're going to look at for the sake of science. This might put a little dent in my more outlandish theories, which will be wild if it ever materializes. Here, let's hear this.
Take applause if anything goes on. If it's not, I'll say it's real.
Well,
hey, listen, if you're homophobic, keep it to yourself. Your homophobia is very inappropriate. You're driving away and causing an accident. You can have a conversation if you like.
Yeah, if you can, sorry about that. Take applause if anything goes on. If it's not, I'll say it's real.
Hey, listen, if you're homophobic, keep it to yourself. Your homophobia is very inappropriate.
Oh, yeah. All right, that's the state of Canadian politics. All right, people. Oh, I see two bars. Now on my. It's back down to one bar. So close. All right, what we're gonna do? We're gonna end it on YouTube. We're gonna go over to Rumble. We're going. Let me see. Let me just get my notes and tell you what's coming up here. Why would I stream from wireless internet to begin with when I have a choice? I have a choice. Before we go over to Rumble, what we have in the backdrop. All right. We got Archer. We got an email that it's so self-servingly exonerating. You'd have to be stupid to think it was incriminating. We've got Bill. If you had any doubts about Bill Barr's sincerity or lack thereof, no more doubt shall be lingering after this stream. Nancy Pelosi. And then we got another Canadian lawsuit in Canada. One of the lawsuits challenging the charter, challenging the ArriveCan app, basis of a shameless, egregious, incontrovertible violation of charter rights. The lawsuit was dismissed at the time for mootness because by the time the lawsuit got to court, the government had not rescinded, not revoked, but suspended the policy. Court said, moot. Because the government has stopped beating you, don't you see? So you can't government to get them to stop beating you. But stop beating you. So come back when the government starts beating you again, because until such time, your claims for damage from having been beaten government moot. Not a joke, by the way. I'm not even exaggerating. And then we got some other fun stuff. So let's go over to the Rumbles. I'm going to give the link here, and then we'll go over and do this. And everybody, 2:00 tomorrow. It's going to be good. All right, ending on YouTube. Sorry about the internet connection, people.